Hello there, everybody. This is Alex from Hardcorian Guides, bringing you my guide for South Park: The Stick of Truth on hardcore difficulty. No healing and no items. And today we're doing the last and final episode and last and final dungeon of Stick of Truth, which is, of course, Clyde's Fortress. There's going to be, let's see, I don't know how many boss fights, like 5, maybe, something like that. So, the beginning, no, there's more than that. There's like 5 or 6. I can't remember. This will probably definitely prove to be, yeah, I'd say it's the hardest dungeon, considering the fact that there are a couple of fights in this dungeon, in particular to boss fights, that could potentially give you trouble. And, well, that's what I'm here for, to help out with, and to make things easier and to essentially just ease your pain, all in all. So, yeah, there's not really much to talk about in the beginning parts, so I'll probably have more to explain when we get to, you know, the actual boss fights. And I think the first boss we deal with is Craig. I think so. And Craig is a he's definitely yeah, he's definitely one that can yeah, he can give you trouble. So sorry, I have other things on my computer I'm looking at, just dumb cringe stuff that I'm sure people will be like, oh, that's cringe, but I find it funny, so haha. But yeah, let's see, these guys right here, we get to fight the Cyclops and what is it, the orc or whatever. But yeah, I end up dying, so that's why that's there. I don't know what the hell you're supposed to do with the bowling ball. I don't know how the hell that thing is supposed to actually knock anybody out. So yeah, of course I'm being, you know, quick with this and essentially just trying to get them grossed out, get them stunned, and then just go from there. Also, you can get Ike as a friend here. And I think there's 120, maybe 121 friends. I might be going way over. You know, if you're going for all of them, you'll have to look that up, because I don't know. Also, did that cause bleeding? Because I think it only causes bleeding due to maybe a strap-on I had on. I don't remember putting... I know I put on a strap-on that was like one of the gray ones, but I don't remember it being bleeding. Oh, yeah, that's another thing, too. Cartman's... his Ass of Fire is really good with armor because it just chips off the armor. So that's a really good tool to have too. Also, my weapon does go through shields, which is great. It basically just ignores shields, and I think just in general, I think it just ignores armor regardless. So that is, you know, just a big hell yeah. Oh, this is completely off topic, but I don't know if I'll probably, I don't know when exactly, if I ever do get it, but I keep forgetting that House of the Dead got remade for Switch. And I've been in the mood to want to do a rail shooter recently. I thought about getting the, I think what's it called? The Umbrella Chronicles for the rail shooters of Resident Evil. I wanted to get one of them for the Wii, but I always forget about it when I go to actually go somewhere to, you know, to buy games, I guess. All right, weak to, yeah, they're okay. So some of them are weak to gross, which is great. That helps out tremendously. So now we have to fight different types of enemies. We have like wizards, orcs. I think like just, yeah, knight. You know, that type of stuff. We just have, you know, for the most part, relatively basic. Yeah, like non-race type things. I think they're just more specifically just like anything, because like earlier it was humans versus elves, but now it's just like we're fighting wizards, we're fighting, you know, mages and the such. We're fighting classes, which I think is kind of cool, honestly. So yeah, oh, wizard, that's right. Yeah, the Shadow Knight sucks because he has the ability to essentially raise the dead, and that's kind of a sort of concept with this dungeon in general. Is like, you know, there will be. It doesn't happen very often for me, though, but I think, like, that's the only one time. But, you know, there are enemies that could potentially revive their buddies. So you want to be careful of that and do what you can. Also, this is kind of a lengthy dungeon, too. Like, oh, man, I forgot, too. We'll have to count how many boss fights there are because there's actually quite a lot. The first boss fight might not even be Craig. It might be... the Sparrow Prince, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. But yeah, funny enough, like I saw that thing over there with the chest that, you know, has armory, and I'm not really sure. It's like where this is. Like, is this Cartman's house again? I can't remember. I mean, most likely it probably makes sense if it was like, you know, at Clyde's house. But still, like, they really built themselves a dungeon. Not even kidding. When you really think about it, like, this is actually a pretty damn baller treehouse. Like, you know, no joking. Like, this is a pretty damn cool ass place. It's got like what, 3, 4, 5 different stories, and well, funny enough, eventually, spoiler alert for those that haven't played the game, I guess, Clyde gets his ass knocked right off, and he gets banished from space and time, and just gets kicked right off the treehouse. I think he actually grabs onto a branch, and then he falls down, so he didn't die, of course, but still, though. I mean, granted, that's what he gets for having his mom's blood on his wiener, you know? Oh yeah, be careful of that shit with the backstab. It's got some tight timing. Granted, I think you don't even have to fight these guys. I'm not 100% sure if you do, but I still do it anyway. Also, I think Highway Guy is and Cut Purse. I think these enemies are maybe possibly. This is just a guess. I have no idea, but I'm basically asking if it is. If it's actually a reference to Mad Max or any of that type of stuff, like apocalyptic stuff or not, I don't know. There's a lot of there's a lot of stuff in Clyde's Fortress that is just, it's littered with different classes, different races, different types of different people. So this is like the ultimito, you know, Dungeons and Dragons type thing going on here. So which I think is kind of cool. But yeah, I think there's like 2 ways to get in. You can either take the other way, and you, of course, you can actually knock one of them out and save yourself the trouble, but I didn't realize. Yeah, like, there's basically no point of me doing that fight. I did it anyway, I guess. Hey, free XP, right? So, whatever, it is what it is. Also, this is going to be another hour video again, which is not something I was looking forward to. Oh, yeah, Nazi zombie time. So, we're going to be fighting pretty much almost, not all of them, but, like, most of them. I think you even get to fight the Nazi zombie gingers again, but yeah, we have, let's see, six enemies on screen at once, which you'll have to get used to, and this is a pretty good dungeon for that too, because the, what are they called, the Uber Lieutenant, I'll have to look at his name again. Well, there's the, Uberst, or Oberst. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that properly. I'm sorry. I am quite the dumb. Oh yeah, I think Horn of Irritation, if I remember correctly, was actually pretty good on. Yeah, it's good on zombie kitties. That's right. AOE, just AOE the hell out of them. And of course, Horn of Irritation. You know, go for Kyle's. Well, not only just his rally, but go for his, you know, storm of arrow, rain of arrows. Sorry. Also, I think you can only get, I think, like ×2 ability up. I think that's it. I think that's as far as you can go. But anyway, I was going to say, like, earlier, that this is a pretty good dungeon for teaching you what's coming up. Because not only do we have to fight the Nazi zombie guys, like a ton of them, because they got the, you know, Clyde got the goo from Taco Bell that creates, you know, Nazi zombie people. So not only do we have that to deal with, but that you saw that enemy earlier did the backstab move. And I think the game devs were maybe potentially trying to teach you that, hey, you know, you're going to be fighting a thief. So, and he might, you know, do some backstabs. You got to learn. You got to basically learn at this point in time how to block properly, or at least better. So, of course, you know, being the best advice of all is just essentially block the best. Also, go ahead and use Nagasaki to take out this asshole. There's no need to fight him. He just complicates things. Of course, gross out, throw your weapon, stun the next guy, and, you know, eventually take him out. Of course, as you can see, he has shields on. Nothing too bad for us, considering the fact that we can literally go through it. This is, of course, Kyle's attack. It does bonus kosher damage. The only reason he even took, the Demolisher took damage to begin with was, well, from the fire and bleeding and all that other fun stuff I did to him. So, yeah, there you go. He's dead. The kindergartners, they have their, you know, fight with him. And I just find it funny how, like, they call you douchebag. It's funny. It's just one of those, like, immature, humored things I find funny, I guess. But these next two, I think you can actually take out both of them. And also, yeah, we finally got all the Chim Pokemon. And the only way to really know if you have all the Chim Pokemon or not is if the Chim Pokemon toy company themselves, you know, add you as a friend on Facebook, and that's how you know for sure. And of course, you know, they say that, you know, the Americans have really big penis, and that they have really small penis. So, you know, thanks, guys. I'm, you know, thanks for letting me know I have a big penis, I guess. But don't worry, I saw the interview thing about that too of Matt and Trey talking about where they got that, where the Chim Pokemon joke from. Also, I do want to say that Chim Pokemon was definitely one of my favorite episodes back in the day. It's still one of my favorite episodes. I actually had a couple of favorite episodes. I have a lot of favorite episodes, but one of the ones I used to always watch, the one I liked the most was actually the Mel Gibson one, just for the fact that, you know, they gave him the actual real-life head. I know they did that for Mr. Garrison with, you know, I keep wanting to say Hoss Delgado, but I know they did that with David Hasselhoff. But still, I just find the Mel Gibson one pretty funny. Even the scene with him in Imagination Land, I always liked him. It's always funny. But one of my favorite episodes, before we get into this, I mean, not to tell he'll blow himself up and he'll hurt Clyde. I mean, Craig, shit. Yeah, one of my favorite episodes is the Hooked on Phonics episode where, because I like monkeys, and that's where Cartman got himself a monkey that was a Hooked on Phonics monkey that tried teaching him, and he eventually killed Kenny. And I don't know, like the joke at the spelling bee where Cartman's trying to spell, but the monkey just doesn't. He doesn't do the Hooked on Phonics thing, and he kind of, you know, fucks up Cartman's ordeal, and Cartman gets pissed, and like the monkey just starts jerking off. I don't know, it's just dumb. It's funny. Okay, so Craig is relatively annoying because there's no real technical way to tell who he is. I don't think so. I don't think there's a way. There is one of these clones that's obviously not Craig, but however, the other four are harder to tell. And AoEs, for whatever reason, don't seem to work. You kind of have to. I guess it depends on the AoE. I don't know exactly, because I feel like there are certain AoEs that do work, but some just don't for some reason. But yeah, Kyle's great for this because at least he can get that one attack, that one golf ball shot, and just completely wipe out a clone. And you do a lot of damage to clones in general, but the main problem with Craig is he actually gets healed every time he does the Shadow Jutsu stuff. So you want to be very careful of that. Now, I will say this. One of the best ways to find out if it actually is Craig is depending on how much defense he has. If he, well, not in terms of like the number of defense, but like just when you hit him and he doesn't disappear or he doesn't take like half his health, then that is most likely potentially a possibility that that's Craig. And that, for me, is probably the best way I can find out. But yeah, you see he does Clone Army again, and he gets, you know, all debuffs removed, and he essentially gets, you know, 5 of him, basically. He gets, like, 4 extra guys of him, or whatever, and it's just, it can be a nightmare. However, if you're gonna go for this, I think I messed it up anyway. I don't think this even does AoE. Yeah, no, see, it hits like one guy. It's like, I think it's an AoE attack in general, but it only hits like one of them, so. But yeah, right there, that's when I knew which one it was, because the counter didn't do that much damage. And I knew instantly, like, I'm like, yep, that's definitely Craig. So, that's one good way to tell if you get the counter off. If you just do any regular attack, then you'll find out. But yeah, Craig sucks. I'd recommend not going for the clones as much as you can. Don't worry about AoEs. Just don't bother with the clones. Try to figure it out. I mean, like, hit anybody and everybody. And, you know, if it turns out that's not the real Craig, then just don't bother. Just, you know, leave whatever you can alive. And just ignore the rest. Like, yeah, you're going to be taking a lot of damage, but still. Also, if you're good at it, if you've gotten it down pat, I'd also recommend Butter's Chaos Cloak. And I actually originally, when I did this playthrough, I went through this dungeon and then I cheated because I actually just said, fudge, I'm gonna start healing. I can't beat Craig. You know, I can't beat Kenny. And then I actually reloaded the save like a day after. I'm like, no, I have to do it with no healing. I just have to. This was my mage playthrough, of course. So when I was doing that, I went right back and I figured it all out. I mean, at the time I used Chaos Cloak with Butters. And as you saw there, I didn't really get lucky with it. And just from that, I kind of figured... I sort of figured out how to beat Craig. Craig is relatively intimidating and actually definitely, in my opinion, one of the harder bosses you'll have to face. Because of the fact that he can basically get a full heal and, you know, he can essentially get rid of debuffs. And that's just unfortunate and unfair, but that's just how it is. So, now we're into the next Pseudo dungeon, which is, of course, inside of Mr. Slave's ass. And I'm surprised, but also not at the same time, that Paris Hilton didn't show up here. Also, you do get an achievement / trophy for using Mr. Slave while inside of Mr. Slave. So there is that. Also, these guys, surprisingly weak to Holy. I don't know exactly why they're weak to Holy. They're not even really the Nazi zombie type either, I don't think. I mean, I think there is Nazi zombie bacteria, but I don't think these are the ones. But they're weak to Holy and weak to Frost, which is great for us because that's what we're running. So, you know, at this point in time, like, there's only 3 characters I can think of that you should be running. Either Cartman, Kyle, or Butters. And Cartman not so much because, again, I explained it in the last episode, but Cartman is actually not really a healthy character. Not just because he eats nothing but cheesy poofs and shit all day, but I mean, like, in general, like, he's not tanky at all. And he's a glass cannon. That's the best way I can put it. Stan, on the other hand, like, I think he's got a decent bit of defense. But other than that, oh yeah, the only reason I'm switching between friends, I'm trying to see every different type of thing they're gonna say whenever they get summoned inside of Mr. Slave. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, there was Nazi zombie bacteria. I was right. I forget how to get... I don't think you can get up there, but you can Nagasaki... Oh, that's right. There is a bacteria up there, but I don't really remember how to get up there. I tried anal probing my way, but it, for some reason, just wouldn't let me up, so I just said, fudge it, alright. And no, I didn't say fudge it as in like... Oh, that's right, that's right, that's right. You climb up Mr. Hat. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, so somehow Mr. Hat found his way up here, and I guess he's been lodged up Mr. Slave's ass ever since him and Mr. Garrison were together. But... Luckily, Mr. Slave found himself a good partner, a good soulmate for sure. So I'm glad. Their relationship is relatively nice because I always liked Big Al. He was always the nice guy, especially back then in the episode where he appeared. I always just thought he was really nice and sweet. So I like Big Al, and yeah, unfortunately, the only way to get him as a friend is to actually just talk to him on phone. Or at least answer the phone while inside Mr. Slave. Kind of weird how, we can make him a friend on Facebook. But then again, spoilers for those that don't know. We're Dovahkiin. We are literally the essential, we're the Dragonborn. We're allowed to just have tons of friends on Facebook. And it also works well into Fractured Butthole. So, there's that. Of course. But yeah, I feel sad that Big Al didn't really get much of an appearance in this game because I would have liked to see him, but I can understand why. Like, that, we already have so many characters, like, why have every single character, But even then still, it would have been nice to see. But Mr. Slave is good enough, although I actually do wish Mr. Slave had more screen time too, but at least Mr. Slave has a snook shoved up his sniz. So, that's essentially what we're here to take care of, is the snook up his sniz. Or I should say his shiz. Or whatever. Yeah. Again, looking back on it when I first played this game, it caught me off guard. This whole thing caught me off guard. It was just... I had a big-ass smile on my face the entire time. Just laughing. Having a good time. This game is just... It's just awesome. It's amazing. For those that haven't actually played it, again, sorry for the spoilers, of course, but for those that haven't played it, I definitely do recommend it. Even if you might not like South Park humor, there's at least a decent RPG hidden underneath. And that, I think, is actually good. Because, like, if you're able to do that, that shows me that you at least have an understanding of what you're doing, and you can run with it. That, to me, is a better parody than just something trying too hard and failing at, being the actual game instead of just being the parody, so... But for the Sparrow Prince fight, which is what we're in now, of course, For him, I recommend running with Kyle. Because Kyle can pretty much just eliminate most of the problem. Now, granted, the Sparrow Prince does typically do a reflect stance. I don't know why he does. He seems to do it all the time. I think it's just because of Kyle, just in general. But, so, yeah, we can't really do much about his reflect. However, we still have just enough to use, you know, Rain of Arrows, and we have just enough to use Summon Elemental as well in basically one fight. And Summon Elemental, which you'll get to see now, like, did 14,000 damage. And that's quite a hefty lot of damage. Especially to a boss. It's pretty good, so... Oh yeah, I actually forgot that he was reflecting. Not that the kosher damage probably would have mattered, because I don't think it's weak to holy or weak to really anything anyway. So, again, I don't even know why the Sparrow Prince even bother fighting with us. Oh yeah, that's right, it's proving ourselves. I also find some of his lines pretty funny, where he's like, my anger is greater now. Yeah, just funny stuff, So, oh, I just realized that, yeah, those are pool balls. Like, the thing is, like, we're deep inside of Mr. Slave's ass. Like, how much shit did he shove up his ass? There's so much stuff. Like, good God, I mean, I don't think about it very often, because, like, it's just kind of like a normal dungeon, but when you really think about it, like, we're, like, literally, we're way up his ass. We're way in there. And there's still a goddamn dildo up here. And there's just plenty of just a flashlight, pool balls, dildos, anal beads, Mr. Hat, his phone. I mean, I know the guy. I know the guy. You know, is able to be. I know he shoved Paris Hilton up his ass, but I mean, come on. That's just so much crap. Oh man, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Also, I don't know why, but for some reason, like, it's not clicking in. I don't know what was going on. But anyway, so yeah, you finish off the snook. You guys can do the rest. It's easy enough. Get a ton of friends. Get the Crown of Anal Pleasure. Sorry. Not really a good item, though. I think it actually makes you more immune to gross out. I could be wrong. I don't remember. Also, for the next fight, usually, you know, I always say, like, oh, whip out Butters, but actually, no. Kyle. I recommend using Kyle for this next fight. So we're going to be fighting off Chef. Yeah, so Chef comes back, and he's a Nazi zombie. And fortunately for us, he doesn't have a revive. And he does have a quick event near the end. So if you can get him down to a certain amount of health, basically just, like, kill him, then you should be okay. So go for defense down. Go for all the status stuff. Go for everything that you can. Especially slow. You want to have slow down. Because even though Chef does have times where he can actually do, like, a quick time event that you can break out of, I still don't think he does it enough to the point where it's something that's going to happen all the time. Like, you can just expect. You know what I mean? So don't bother with that. Special attack, thank God, only does one hit. Thank goodness, because if he did more than one hit, which I thought he was going to do, that would have sucked. But yeah, Horn of Irritation, you get those defense downs and attack downs as much as you possibly can. He may not seem like it, but Chef, Nazi Zombie Chef, sorry, can actually do quite a bit of damage if you're unfortunate. But he's relatively a straightforward fight, and as you saw there with that extra damage, I'm pretty sure Ike does kosher. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he does extra kosher / holy damage. So with that extra bit of damage, or just in general, just them being weak to it, it did a fuck ton of damage to him, and that's what we're going for. So that's why you want to have Kyle out, because he does his abilities just destroy. And yeah, Ike unfortunately cost 8 PP instead of 6, which we're going for. And Kyle's normal attack, even then still, is relatively pretty good. So, and of course, Clyde, being the asshole he is, just basically lights Chef on fire. So there's that. But you know, you get the Quantum event. You have to press down with the right stick and finish off Chef, potentially once and for all. We don't know if he'll ever come back. I don't know. The future has many things it can hold. So here we are, finally at the Princess Kenny fight. The whole reason I even wanted to do this damn guide to begin with, right? So, oh boy, have Butters out, and whenever you do defeat Princess Kenny as a normal human, you should get your health and PP back. At least your PP comes back, so I'm pretty sure. Princess Kenny works like any normal boss, immune to stun, sleep, pissed, all that fun stuff. But she is not immune to, of course, elements like, you know, fire, frost, and all that crap. So Chaos Cloak doesn't really matter right now. I don't even know if it even carries over into her Nazi zombie form anyway. So yeah, the reason why I say, like, at least have Butters out by the time you get to the next part of this main fight. Once you get Kenny down to, you know, low enough health, then you can switch out or whatever you want to do. Because you want to at least have Butters first, so that way you can activate Chaos Cloak when he's in Nazi zombie form. Princess Kenny is, I mean. You want to get that, like, at least in your first turn. If you fuck it up, then I'd recommend going back and doing it again, because in my... Whoa. Was that my phone? No, I think I'm hearing things. I thought I heard a buzz. Oops. Not like a bug buzz, but like an actual, like, you know, a vibration. That was fun. Anyway, so, I can't recommend it any further than this, but at this point in time, you're gonna have to get good at Chaos Cloak, because for me personally, without using healing, without items, I think it's almost near damn impossible without the Chaos Cloak, because Kenny does too much fucking damage. He does too much damage. It's ridiculous. And he does it so often too. Like, no matter how much armor I have on, no matter how much defense I have on, it doesn't matter because he gets revived. So here's the kicker: you can either have your buddies, like, you can either like fend off Kenny as much as you possibly can, so that way you at least have like your 4 main buddies. Dude, when I got Chaos Cloak, like, no lie, I pretty much, well, okay, a little exaggerating, but I pretty much just jumped for joy. I was like, oh my god, yes, thank god. Like, I remember, like, just, you know, being, like, super overjoyed about it. But anyway, so you can either you can either fend him off for a good while, and eventually, like, I think it's like maybe it's like every 4 turns. I'm not exactly 100% sure on that. I think it's like every 4 turns or so, he'll send out something to come out and try to basically get rid of your buddy. And you'll have to do a quick time event to have your buddy get rid of whatever object. Another major thing, too, slow down. Slow down and Chaos Cloak are your best friends in this fight. This fight is ridiculously hard, pretty much without it. So yeah, that's basically the end of Butters. We can't use him anymore, but luckily for us, we got Chaos Cloak anyway. So we're pretty much good to go for the rest of the fight. Now, granted, our other buddies aren't going to have shields on, but that doesn't really matter because they're not going to be out long enough for this to happen. So, what's the other way of beating Kenny? A sort of easier way, but not really at the same time, is to kill him 3 times. And I heard that the Thief class can actually make it to where you can mug Kenny to the point where he can't actually regenerate, like come back. I'm not sure if that's true. I never tested that theory out, but for right now, all I know is this is the main way of beating Kenny, and I'd recommend just killing him all 3 times. Just as soon as he reappears, go for slowdown, and then after that, just go for burning, you can't even go for gross, you can't do gross. Go for burning and bleeding if you can. At least one of the 2. But you have to basically go for slow, because fudging up Kenny's turns is what makes this fight, in my opinion, a little bit easier. Now, it's also possible that maybe I'm just dumb as hell, which could happen. I mean, it happened before, as we saw. It may also be very possible that maybe like your buddy's leaving is based on Kenny's turns. I'm not actually 100% certain on that. However it goes, just do as much damage as possible. I'd always recommend going for the 3 kills. Because, I mean, well, 1, look at that. Like, you see that? That was crazy. I did like a good half chunk of his health. And granted, the arrows for Kyle aren't really necessary because of the fact that, well, there's no other enemies to fight. It's just Kenny by himself. So yeah, summon Elemental using Ike is a hell of a good move, especially considering the fact that Kyle has bonus kosher damage, which of course is what essentially Princess Kenny, Nazi zombie Princess Kenny, should be weak to. But there you go. That's turn 2. We have one more, and then Kenny is down for good. She should be. Sorry. So yeah, you can tell by the way it works, but I didn't get to do my turn because I already did it, and you know Kenny went down, so there's that. So I think I have at least one, like, good enough amount of PP for another one, but I'm not gonna bother with it. Well, I don't think I can. Oh yeah, I totally forgot that Ike actually causes bleeding too. But yeah, there we go. I think yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was kind of hoping I could get like one extra good kick in with Ike, but you can't. So unfortunately, as you saw there, Kenny gets his health back. It's bullshit, but it is what it is. And next up should be Jimmy, because I think the order goes like Butters, Kyle, Jimmy, and then Stan. You can't use Cartman because Cartman's too busy, well, falling asleep on his fat ass. Weirdly, though, you can use Kyle, but I think maybe it's because of who you picked. That could be it. I mean, that might be the only thing I can see having an effect at all. But I don't really know 100% for sure, so. Also, sleeping is not going to help with, you know, Kenny, so no reason to use Lullaby, because of the fact that it's not going to do shit. I mean, granted, I think they get defense down anyway, but still. Having, Jimmy do his, what is it, his magical song of enchantment, basically, which is, you know, this song. You get ability up ×2, which is great, and he gets ability down, which, of course, you know, ability affects, I believe, anything that's usually just not, like a physical type thing. So, like, I think his Nazi zombie vomit, and I think his rainbow attack are abilities, I believe so. So yeah, I fudged it up. If Jimmy gets too low on health and you really need to switch him out bad, then just swap him out. Just swap him out for Stan. It's your best option. Yeah, speaking of the brown note, this is what I need to do at some point. Yeah, I need to go kind of bad. I need to go sometime, you know, relieve the battles at some point in time. And, well, there you go. That should be it for Kenny, I think. Yeah, that's it. So now we have to, of course, break the gentleman's oath and stop Kenny for good. And essentially revive him, I guess, in some way or shape or form. Don't know why Cartman just didn't do that earlier, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, you saw there I tried looking at just any possibility if I had enough mana, and no, you don't. So I have to, unfortunately, use an item. So, again, if you count it as me using one, then that's fine. But just remember that I had no option, and that's just what it is. It doesn't matter how well you fart on them, but there you go. That ends that fight, and next up is a little anticlimactic, but we're going to finish off Man Bear Pig. I don't know why I didn't do it before. I was dumb. I kind of forgot about it. And, yeah, so Man Bear Pig Mask makes it to where he can't basically be farted on. What's funny, because I actually did have magic, but I didn't even use it this entire time. So, I guess that kind of makes up for it, right? So, Man Bear Pig is way, way easier than Kenny, and way easier than, you know, Al Gore in general. So, the typical stuff, slow him down, go for burning, that kind of crap. He does have some really nasty swipes that cause you bleeding, but he's not too hard. Now, I think you can actually... I'm not sure, like, okay. Come here before you fight Kenny. That way you make your fight easier. But unfortunately for me, I fought him by myself because I didn't have my buddies at the time because I basically told them, you know, screw you, I'm going home. So I think that's probably why I don't have my buddies out. I believe they're supposed to be equipped, but I'm not even sure. So I think maybe I got fudged. But either way, you know, maybe this makes up for the no item part of things. Considering the fact that I had to use an item, so to make up for it, I had to beat Al Gore by myself. So there you go. Al Gore, dead. Nothing special, just... yeah, Man Bear Pig down. And then you get his claw, and then you get to see what that does, which isn't really anything too special. Like 20 damage on perfect attack, blah, blah, blah. That kind of crap. So, yeah, we got all the gym Pokemon. We got all 30 out of 30. And we got like 50 out of the 100, but you can buy most of those. And we didn't get all the friends. I don't think they tell you how many you have out of it, right? I didn't see that. Probably have to check back later. But anyway, that is it, folks. That's it for South Park, The Stick of Truth, on hardcore difficulty without using items and without healing. And of course, here we are at the end of the video. And this is where, of course, you'll be seeing whatever wallpaper I got from Google Images showing up. And I probably won't make this one too long because I actually kind of just need to eventually run to the bathroom because my body is acting up like crazy. You might hear it, I'm sorry, but yeah, that's what happens when you eat Taco Bell. It kind of fucks with your bowels, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, real quick, let's get into the specifics. I don't have a lot to talk about. Originally, I was going to do DMC4 after this, but I usually like to say like, oh, well, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Things can change. So the big surprise, the big reveal, the big Lebowski itself is, for the next guide, drumroll please, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 Master Ninja difficulty. That's right. So if anybody cared about Master Ninja difficulty for Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, and of course I mean Sigma 2, so the one that is actually easier than regular 2, it's because it's the only one I have. I don't have an Xbox because I'm a loser. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, maybe it was a guide that might have been awaited for. I don't know, but that's what's next. I'm already up to, I think, chapter 8. I've already finished chapter 7 just today, and I'm gonna finish chapter 8 at some point. So there's like 17 chapters, I think. We're getting pretty close. Yes, I actually did beat Momoji, and oh my god, fuck her chapter. And I'm not looking forward to. Well, Rachel's isn't really that bad, but Ayane's gets fucking hard too. So yeah, I want to make this quick, and I do apologize for making it too fast. I know maybe some people like this stuff, maybe they don't. Whew, boy. All right, that's it for South Park. This is a fun one. Will I ever come back and do another playthrough? I don't know. Maybe. It's possible. I just realized I forgot to say No Child Left Behind in every one of those guides. Shit. That's okay. The idea is still there. So, nobody died. And yeah, that's how you beat it. Chaos Cloak. And elements. And status effects. And all that other fun stuff. And my bowels are about to explode. So, I better let Mr. Hanky into the toilet, you know what I'm saying? So, all right. Anyway, take care, everybody.